Welcome to the 2018 Secretary Award Ceremony. Please welcome to the stage for opening remarks the Chief Administrative Officer for the Office of Administration, Nelson Bragon. Once again, I'd like to say welcome to the 2018 Secretary Award Ceremony. At this time, please welcome to the stage for opening remarks the Chief Administrative Officer for the Office of Administration, Nelson Bragon.
What a wonderful event. What a group of good-looking people. Thank you for joining us today. So here we are to celebrate the Secretary's Fiscal Year 2018 Secretarial Awards. As you know, it is a pleasure to be here today. I know that Secretary Carson agrees. He's going to be with us shortly. We have the best team in the government working here with the noblest mission of any other federal agency. We do what nobody else does. We serve the people that nobody else serves. And we do it well, and we do it with pride, and we do it with honor. So I want all of you to congratulate each other for the wonderful work that we do. And many times we talk about the great work that we do, but many of us do not see the great work that we do on a regular basis. I think we've seen the best of HUD when there are emergency cases or things out of the ordinary. We do our daily routine work very well, seamless, but it's when a higher call, when we get the higher call, that we are at our best. I say this because I think this year we've had, this past year we had the most significant national disasters that we've ever had before. Even though we started in this business of national disasters with smaller disasters in the past, some of them had supplemental appropriations from Congress, but nothing to the tune of what happened in 9/11. 9/11 was a wake-up call for all of us. I remember I was out of the building. I was in CPD. We were welcoming all our regional and field office directors to headquarters. It was the beginning of a new administration. When I get a call that there's something going on in New York, I call the building, and Mr. Roy Bernardi, who was Assistant Secretary for CPD, asked me, what is the building that I can see across the river from my office? And I said, that's National Airport. And he said, no, it's not the airport. It's a little more to the right. And I said, that would be the Pentagon. And he said, well, there's a big plume of smoke coming out of the Pentagon. And I said, sir, I don't think anyone should be in the building. Is anyone in the building? And he says, well, actually, everyone has left the building except Pam Paterno, who is in the lobby trying to get people out of the building. I said, sir, do me a favor. Get our Deputy Assistant Secretary out of the building, too. For some reason, Ms. Pam Paterno was here making sure that everyone was out of the building. I want to thank you, ma'am, for caring for all of us so much, and I want everyone to give you a round of applause for being with us during those difficult times. So with that said, as you know, we did 9/11, and we did the three evil sisters, Wilma, Rita, and Katrina, and we did a lot of floods, and then we did Irma, and then we did Harvey, and then Maria came along. Maria perhaps was the disaster that we could use every superlative in our vocabulary. It was the largest, it was the costliest, it was the most damaging, it was the deadliest. It went on and on and on. And I remember that right after September 22nd, the deputy looked at me and said, "Nellie, I think this is you." And shortly thereafter, my wife is telling me that the secretary is on TV addressing Congress, telling Congress that he's sending his best man from Puerto Rico down to the island. It was quite a surprise. It was quite an honor, but it was rather scary too. When I got to Puerto Rico, I saw the marvelous work that our folks were doing there. Our folks didn't have water, they didn't have electricity, they didn't have anything. And when I walked to the office, it was like a sunny day in Puerto Rico, like any other day. Everyone was there working. So those are the kind of folks that we have at HUD, and it really makes me proud when I see the work that we all do when times like that come. So again, I can't tell you how proud I am of all of you, and how glad I am that I'm with the department, and hopefully I'll be here a little longer. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the 17th Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, someone that knows disaster very well, just like our Deputy Secretary. He came down to Puerto Rico. He has visited many of our disaster sites where we work with FEMA. So with no further ado, I want to introduce our great Secretary, the Honorable Ben Carson.
Well, thank you very much. I'm delighted to see so many people here. You know, I just had lunch with one of the Israeli officials, and I told him that HUD is a place that has the ugliest building with the best people. And he agreed on both counts. But it is absolutely a pleasure working here with so many people who've dedicated their lives to improving the lives of their fellow man. And I recognize that virtually any of the employees at HUD could be doing other things that would be much more lucrative, and yet they're willing to sacrifice for your fellow Americans. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being here to honor your colleagues who have gone above and beyond to carry out their service to the communities. And everybody here is doing vital work, from our program office specialists to the people in IT, from the folks maintaining this building to the ones working to ensure our safety, and those working to give affordable housing to millions of families who depend upon us. And of course, there are the HUD team members in the field, many of whom are watching right now, helping their fellow Americans in the Gulf states, in the Mid-Atlantic, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, all over. And let's just take a moment and applaud those people who are working so hard to help the families in the wake of disasters all over our country. You know, we are here today to honor those who have really excelled in each of their fields and shown extraordinary devotion to their work and to each other. And we really want to celebrate the real deal here today, the men and women who have demonstrated an exemplary dedication to the HUD mission and to making this agency an even better organization and serving the American people, embracing the concept of giving people hope in their future. Not just putting a roof over their heads, but allowing them to experience the American dream. Today's heroes have truly lived out the saying that if we love our country, we also love our countrymen. I saw this firsthand in Puerto Rico in the days following Hurricane Maria. Simply going to work amid the destruction was a remarkable thing by so many of those people whose own homes had been destroyed, whose own families had been disrupted. It's a remarkable accomplishment by our San Juan field office. They did it. And, you know, there's our HUD staff that was led by Efren Maldonado. They responded so well, knowing that their fellow Puerto Ricans were in need of great help. When I visited the island shortly after the hurricane, the destruction was breathtaking. And almost all of the island had lost electricity. I'm happy to report that today, 99.9% of the inhabitants do have electricity, which was more than had it before the hurricane. The people there are doing an incredible job. You don't hear much about it because it's such good work, and I commend them for what they're doing. But the self-sacrifice, the commitment of our San Juan field office demonstrates that the seemingly impossible really is possible. For their hard work and dedication in trying times, we want to give special recognition to our colleagues in Puerto Rico today. But they aren't the only members of our HUD family who've done extraordinary work for the many people that we serve. I'm delighted to recognize all of our outstanding HUD team members, and I want to thank you for inspiring us all to always work hard in the service of others. Thank you for the great work, and keep up the great work. Thank you.
We would now like to welcome to the stage the General Deputy Assistant Secretary for Administration and our Master of Ceremonies today, Pat Hoban-Moore.
It is truly an honor for me to be part of this celebration and the Secretary's Award ceremony, given on behalf of many, many well-deserving HUD employees. I want to announce, too, though, that in addition to the awards here, a number of the categories of awardees will be nominated for the Federal Gears of Government Award. The Gears of Government Award recognizes individuals and teams across the entire federal workforce whose performance and dedication support exceptional delivery of key outcomes on behalf of the American people: mission results, customer service, and accountable stewardship. 3 specific drivers of the Gears of Government Awards for this year include information technology, data accountability and transparency, and a vibrant workforce. We will let you know who the Gears of Government awardees are at a later date. So let's get started, shall we? The first category of recognition is Employee of the Year. Recipients of this award have demonstrated the highest level of leadership, customer service, and integrity.
And the winners are SES of the Year, George Tomchek. Manager of the Year, Maura O'Brien. Supervisor of the Year, Eric Rios. Employee of the Year, GS 1315, Crystal Jones Taylor. Employee of the Year, GS 9 through 12, Mary Jones.
All right. That's a good-looking group, I think.
Let's give them all a round of applause.
Our next category is Outstanding Leadership Award. The category has 2 levels of recognition. One is for seasoned and then rising leaders. Recipients of this award have demonstrated sustained excellence in performance and are regarded as visionaries among their peers.
And the winners are, on the seasoned level, James Johnson. On the rising level, Leah E. Anderson. Let's give them all a round of applause.
Our next category is a group award. These employees have developed and delivered innovative customer service strategies through cross-programmatic teamwork and projects. These employees have demonstrated a willingness to go above and beyond to support their internal and external customers.
And the winners are Velma Byron, Domingo Garcia, Blanca Rosario, Juan O. Rodriguez, Nilsa Negron, Robert Lugo, Jennifer Rodriguez, Damaris Santiago, Juan Riviera, Pedro Mora, Jesus Gimenez, Annabelle Aponte, Jacqueline Ruiz, and Hiram Roman. Accepting on behalf of the group are Antonio Cordova, project lead, and Ellis Henry.
Thank you.
Give them a round of applause.
We all know that HUD employees not only do great customer service, but they do great community service. And the next category is for outstanding community service. These recipients of this award are recognized for demonstrating extraordinary commitment to helping others create a livable community for its residents through a variety of volunteer activities affecting any number of organizations.
And the winners are Nicole Lawrence, project lead, Matthew Dixon Moran, Brandy King Cutlet, Hong Lee, Connie Schoenwald, Amy Lovato, Dennis Peterson, Jacqueline Pulliam, Kelly Schur, Jeffrey Seafelt, Mark Balaam, and Debbie Branceno. Let's give them all a round of applause, please.
At the beginning of the program, the Secretary and Mr. Burgone spoke about national disasters. And the next category is the National Disaster Assistance Distinguished Service Award. Recipients of this award have demonstrated superior leadership through collaborative efforts with federal, state, and local agencies, leading to improved coordination of disaster response and recovery outcomes. And we all know that our HUD family is sometimes in its finest hour when our nation faces its greatest challenges. We're now going to have a short video, and then we'll announce the winners, please.
watching the TV, and we saw that the water, a lot of people were already being evacuated, and we decided to stay. And well, we thought we were going to be okay because we were higher, a little bit higher up, but that wasn't the case. The water was rising, so by the time the water got up here, there were boats and people in canoes, and they came and luckily got us out. We just had to leave pretty much a lot of things behind, a lot of things behind.
Ankle deep in water, I called for rescue, and because there were thousands above us, okay, thousands of people ahead of us, by the time they got to us 18 hours later, I was chest high in water. Astro was standing up on boards. I had been stacking stuff up, and they rescued us in a canoe.
You see that smile, you get the hugs, you hear people say, "I'll never forget you again." Gives you a warm and fuzzy, but you know how you have affected someone's life and how they have gone from living in a shelter to living in a place of their own that they can now call home.
We do all the legwork for the clients. We contact the property management companies, the housing agents, the housing authorities, and we verbally verify which units are open. And so when a client comes to us who has lost everything, who doesn't even have a cell phone or internet capabilities, we don't have to give them a resource or any kind of links to find their own housing. We already have the housing identified. And so we are able to rapidly rehouse people from the HUD disaster team.
Working with HUD in a disaster is sort of unlike any other interaction that I've had with HUD or any other large agency like that. Everybody comes to the table, everybody kind of drops the yeah but, and everybody only says yes and to figure out how do we get to that answer for that particular family.
A single mother with 2 teenage daughters, Hurricane Harvey victim, and their housing voucher had expired. They had nowhere to go after they left me. And so I was able to find her a unit just an hour and a half north of Houston. She had the flexibility to move out of the Houston area, called the leasing office directly, went through the criteria that she would need to meet, and she was able to meet that. And so as we speak, she is up there applying with her documents. They told her that she can move in as soon as Monday. The look in her eyes is beyond descriptive words.
Probably the most rewarding thing about this is I think everybody's going to feel like this is the best thing they ever did at HUD. Yeah. So most of the time in the field office, you don't get to take the person from their problem to their solution. Here we get to. It's very rewarding.
Because you all didn't have to send your representatives here to Texas. You all could have stayed where you were in your offices and did what you do, and we would have lost out. So thank you.
And I came out here distraught, low in spirit, weary, confused, just didn't know what to do. And I was sitting at the table one day, and I went over there to HUD, and I got to talking to them and met a beautiful man by the name of Tony who works for HUD, who have really helped me, not only just spiritually, emotionally, and would just talk to me, and his favorite word is stand tall, Tyrone, be strong, you're gonna be all right. And he never used that word you, he said we're gonna make it through this. And when he said that, it made me feel like I wasn't in it, by myself.
I would have to say they're like the best government agency I've ever worked with, and they're just amazing people, and I'm really, really grateful. So thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you guys.
And the winners are Region 2, HUD Hurricane Maria Emergency Support Function number 16. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a total of 56 members on this team. So accepting on behalf of the team are the National Disaster Coordinator, Janet Glorick, team leads, Henry Comas, Cesar Garcia, Efren Maldonado, Betsada Morales, Sam Ortiz Diaz, Tony X. Hebert, Susan Piacentini, and our own Nelson Bragon. While the team is here on the stage taking their picture, I would ask if there's anyone in the audience who is a part of this team that they would now stand.
I would like to congratulate all the honorees, and now it is my distinct pleasure to invite to the podium, please, my co-host and master of ceremony, Mr. Nelson Bragon.
Great. So moving right along, the next award category is the Secretary's Award for Exceptional Field Operations. Recipients of this award are recognized for the development of tools advanced technologically, improvement in support to field operations in response to emerging crises and emergencies.
And the winners are Diana DeForest, Kim McCullum, and Sarah Lindsley. And let's give them a round of applause.
The next award category is the Distinguished Financial Stewardship and Accountability Award. This team is recognized for their efforts with improvements in legal compliance and freed up funds returned to Treasury to reduce the federal debt through a 99.9% reduction in open grants. More than $35 million in debt reductions was achieved.
And the winners are Lloyd Lemoy, Chris Davies, Peter Engelbert, James Norsworthy, Joe Hungate, Deborah McDaniel, Steve Wilcox, Brian Sebenelist, Katressa Gardner, Lizette Flores, Steve Washington, Patrick Toohey, Warren Friedman, Sharon Steinbauer, Charles Montgomery III, Joshua Krantz, Myron Nuri, Tonda Baxter, Brenda Davis, Mark Koldwitz, and Susan Ziff. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause.
That was a big crowd, huh? Great. That shows teamwork, how well we do it. The next category is Distinguished Service Award. The recipient of this award is recognized for outstanding leadership, developing creative solutions to problems, and improvement of methods and procedures which have accomplished extraordinary results for the department.
And the winner is Earl Randall III.
Go Earl! Yeah.
And let's give him a round of applause.
The next award category is the Innovator of the Year Award. This team is recognized for developing and deploying the Human Capital Dashboard. This dashboard pushes the needed on our analytical maturity scale to a more advanced, proactive reporting functionality that enables HUD's leaders to predict gaps before they occur and they can plan accordingly.
And the winners are Brian Marshall, Project Lead, Rick Osborne, Andre Shelton, Todd Mullenkamp, Dennis McGurran, Avril Daniel, Thomas Cooper, Joshua Rory, Calvin Johnson, Eddie C., Peter Fawn, Sheila Wright, Felicia Purefoy, and Tawanda Brooks. Round of applause for the Innovators of the Year.
The next award category is the Length of Service Award. Ms. Holborn-Moore, not so fast, mon ami. Those individuals truly represent a commitment to public service.
And the winners are Turner Russell and Dennis V. Thacker.
Excellent. So I'll pass it on now to Mr. Secretary, please.
Now I'm pleased to introduce our award winner for Secretary's Award of Excellence. Congratulations to, drumroll, James Johnson. From the Office of Administration, James is recognized for his success in piloting an acquisition management system that assists the team of contract officer representatives performing contract oversight in the Office of Administration.
Let's give James a round of applause.
And now the Secretary's Special Recognition Awards. I'm now pleased to present a series of Special Recognition Awards. This honor is given to individuals who have gone above and beyond the call of public service in support of the Department's mission, programmatic priorities, and special initiatives. Please help me in recognizing the following award winners. First, I'd like to recognize Todd Richardson for extraordinary leadership. Extraordinary leadership of the PD&R team and vital counselor to HUD's leadership. Next, I'd like to recognize someone for sustained leadership in support of HUD's field employees, and that is Lisa Surplus. And for her work in employee labor relationships, I'd like to recognize Catherine Hanna. And next, let's congratulate for his excellent disaster recovery public service, Anthony Landecker. And finally, I'd like to recognize an extraordinary team. This team is led by an extraordinary person, who I will announce first, who successfully secured a highly competitive federal IT award to modernize our information systems here at HUD, and Lord knows we need that. Congratulations to all of you. Mark Hayes. Loanne Nguyen, Durga Anakala, and Russ Burns.
Can we have another round of applause for these extraordinary co-workers? Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Would draw to your attention that we have in the back of the program the wonderful committee members who helped put this thing together. I want to thank them, and if you'll permit me to read their names, we have Ed Turner, Kanae Black, Kimberly Dana, William Glavin, Bob Iber, Kimberly Woods, Susan Ayers, Alicia Swanson, Pasha Mensa, Charles Eldridge, Kimberly Collins, Andrea Jones, Mike Westra, Mason Alexander, Brittany Walker, Raven Arnold, Marie Perry, Antoinette Perry Banks, Eddie Ginn, Bridget Harvey, Susan Tim, Clyde Rodkey, LaShawn Douglas, Stephen Murphy, Charles Butler, Phil Burrows, Bill Guilford, Sarah Ayaz, Michael Sims, Helen McBride, Shelley Walls, Letha Struthers, and Cynthia Kelly. Let's give them all a hand. Stand up if you're in the room. Please stand up if you're in the room. I want to thank all of you for coming today, and I want to leave you with a closing thought. For our brothers and sisters who work in the field and in headquarters, may the light of your commitment encourage your work with love and warmth of heart. May you see in what you do the beauty of public service. May the joy of your work bring light and renewal to those who work with you and to those who seek and receive your help. May your work never exhaust you. May it refresh, inspire, and excite you each workday. May the day never burden. May dawn find hope in your heart, approaching each day with dreams, possibilities, and promises. May evening find you gracious and fulfilled, and may you go into the night sustained, sheltered, and protected. And for our leaders, may the gift of leadership awaken in you a sense of vocation, keeping you mindful of the honor of the call to public service. As high over the mountains as the eagle spreads its wings, may your perspective be larger than the view from the foothills. May your imagination lead you to new horizons. May you have the wisdom to read time clearly and know when the sea of change will flourish. If you're in your heart, find sanctuary where the stillness of clarity is born. May your work be infused with passion and creativity and have the wisdom to balance compassion and commitment. Always seek humility and courage. Listen to friends and foes alike. Remain open to renewal and progress until your mission is complete. For all of this, we thank you.